it seems to me as though, even if any of that's true, that the end game is everybody wants a piece of the American market. That we are the number one white hot, boiling pot of water when it comes to economic activity, and everybody wants their products here. Um, how does the legacy media get away with pitching this as anything other than we're just evening the score? It's not like we're trying to take advantage of other countries. They've been taking advantage of us for a long time. And to what degree is the malfeasance of past administrations for never even pointing this out to us?
Oh, well, the thing about the legacy media is why did they get away with, and we could be here for hours just listing off the things that they get away with and they try to force down the throat of the American public. But I think you hit the nail right on the head there, which is this is about ending decades of practices where we tolerate special interest capture of foreign governments, special interest subsidies and tariffs of foreign governments that have harmed American producers. And, truth be told, a lot of these prior administrations in the US had negotiated to help these countries supposedly develop, or we had given away to them in exchange for other things. In fact, some of these we gave away the countries so that they wouldn't form an alliance with the Soviet Union. I don't think that's a threat anymore. So, again, what you're seeing here is a president for the first time in decades who's putting forward an America First agenda to renegotiate these, to do what is actually necessary to get to a global free trade regime, a trading environment where no one has these kind of barriers and no one discriminates against American products.
And by the way, that helps them too. Like it continues to allow them to have access to our markets, which is what their goal is to begin with.
Absolutely.
When you combine the idea of what the good can be affected, and let's say tariffs today, before we all go to bed tonight, let's say that 50% of the worst actors on tariffs have softened or lessened or come to the table or maybe eradicated their tariffs completely. When you combine that with the ability for us to now flood the international market with domestic sources of energy, what are we talking about in terms of international business development that goes into the coffers of America?
Oh, again, it's hard to estimate, but phenomenal. Again, an enormous amount of resources are in America that can be made accessible to our producers that we can find homes abroad for. We all know this, but Russia, of course, has dominated energy markets in certain parts of the globe, which extended their reach and by extension, China's reach and influence as well. So the more we can take down these barriers, not only do we flood dollars into American producers, which means that we can build new factories and offices, houses, things that are important for Americans. But it also means that we can start really chipping away at those areas of the globe that are still under the influence of Russia and of China.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.